Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 5 of Future, and this one is titled Baby Todoroki. By 9 a.m, poor Jem was starting to tire, and seeing her in this state was starting to stress Shoto. He wished he could take the pain for her, and his brows furrowed with concern. He used his quirk to cool Jem after each contraction, but she was starting to want something a little more than just the gas. Mr. Todoroki, we have concerns that your wife has stopped dilating, the senior midwife said to him after one particularly strong contraction. We need to either medicate her or get her into the bath with warm water to help her relax. The baby is doing well and isn't stressed, so we would like to take conservative measures at this point. Shoto nodded and tilted his head in thought. His wife had given him the power to make decisions for her when she was in the throes of labour, so it was up to him now. Let's try the bath first, he said confidently. He knew he could help a lot more when his wife was in the bath, so that was his first thought. The midwife nodded and addressed her assistants, who quickly went and prepared the bath for Jem. We are going to put you in the bath to help with the pain and to help you dilate, the midwife said to Jem. But there was no response from Mrs. Todoroki, as she'd almost used up all of her energy, but she did look up at the midwife as if she'd heard her. The assistant midwives came back to help Jem off the bed and over to the birthing pool, easing her over the edge and helping her settle down in a squatted position with her arms draped over the sides. Shoto crouched down in front of her and caught her attention. He didn't say anything, he just gave her a sympathetic smile and a gentle kiss on the forehead. The water was soothing and warm and did wonders for helping Jem with the pain. She was free to contort her body whenever a contraction came, and the senior midwife was pleased to announce that she had started dilating again. It was shortly after 10 a.m, and Jem's cries started to get lower and more aggressive, almost animalistic in sound. Shoto had never heard such a noise come from her before, from anyone before, and it startled him a bit. He was doing his best to actively help, and was alternating placing a cooling right hand on Jem's forehead after contractions, and placing his left hand in the water to activate his quirk and keep the water at an acceptable warm temperature. The senior midwife was most impressed, and mostly let him do his thing, occasionally jumping in to check Jem's dilation, or to listen to the baby's heart on ultrasound. Every time she checked Jem, Shoto would make eye contact with her from wherever he was, and without saying a word would plead with his eyes for her to tell him that everything was okay. She would always nod and give him a thumbs up, and then he'd go back to focusing on his wife. At 10:30 a.m, Jem said that she felt like she needed to push. The midwife checked her again and announced that she was finally 10 centimetres dilated. Okay, lovely. When you feel a contraction, I want you to push, the midwife said authoritatively. The next contraction came, and Jem let out a low bellow. Push, Jem. Push, Shoto coaxed softly. The midwife checked and gave Shoto a thumbs up. I can see the head, she said to him, then addressed Jem again. That was beautiful, hun. I need you to do another one of those. Jem let out another agonised groan and bared down again, pushing with all her might. That's it, lovely. You're doing great, the midwife called from behind. The baby was on its way. 2 more pushes and the head was free. 1 more push and the baby's body followed, with the midwife scooping the baby out of the water and lifting it up to take its first breath. Shoto helped the exhausted and panting Jem to roll over in the water, and she was handed the baby. It had taken a big first breath and was now crying pitifully. Poor Jem was so tired but so elated, and her breathing heaved as she was handed her beautiful baby boy. Shoto was in awe, and tears pricked the corner of his eyes. Here was his first baby, his little boy. He was too scared to touch him just yet, and so crouched next to Jem outside of the bath and smiled lovingly at their little newborn that was nestled on her chest. He's beautiful, Jem said in a breathy tone as she cradled her little boy, who was settling now. She turned to look at her husband, and he bent his head down to give her a sweet kiss of congratulations. Their little boy still hadn't opened his eyes yet, and only had a few small wisps of hair that were slicked down by the water and vernix, but he had a perfect little face and beautiful features. I can see you in him already, Jem commented to Shoto with a little smile. What will you name him? The midwife asked after giving her congratulations to the pair. Oh, a name, Jem said suddenly. Shoto, what do you think? Shoto looked lovingly at his boy and thought for a moment. Just then the little baby opened his eyes and looked around with unfocused eyes. He had the most gorgeous iridescent orange eyes, just like the garnet hesonite. They were captivating. Oh, Jem breathed when she saw his eyes. They're beautiful. What about Soshi for his name? Shoto asked. Soshi means element. He will definitely possess a mix of our powers. All our powers are element powers. Soshi Todoroki, Jem said lovingly. It's beautiful. The midwife smiled and wrote it down, while the assistants were grabbing towels and preparing for weighing and measuring of baby Soshi. Welcome to the world, Soshi. You will be a wonderful man when you grow up, Jem whispered to her minute-old baby. Once the cord was clamped and cut, little Soshi was taken for weighing and measuring, and Jem was helped out of the bath to clean up. The minute she was clean and dry, and in her pyjamas, she crashed in the hospital bed and slept. Please be advised that we will not be seeing any visitors for the rest of today, Shoto said to the nursing staff, who were bustling around outside Jem's room. My wife needs her rest for now, but we will be seeing friends and family tomorrow. Yes, Shoto, the star-struck young nurses said as they floated back to the nursing station to spread the good news of the hero baby. Well, congratulations on your little baby. Stay tuned to see where you're at in your life with Bakugo tomorrow.